Hey, everybody, it's the Coach. You're tuned in to Sunday Night Football on EA Sports. Straight ahead, we've got what should be an interesting matchup between the Los Angeles Rams and the Minnesota Vikings. I'll join you again at halftime to look at some of these stats and scores from earlier this afternoon. But for now, it's Sunday Night Football. And on the call, as always, Brandon Gaudin and Charles Davis.
Now we find ourselves at the stadium that played host to Super Bowl 52, the wondrous U.S. Bank Stadium in Minneapolis. Nothing like the fanfare of introductions to an NFL game, and that was in evidence a moment ago. Fireworks, pyrotechnics, you name it, this crowd is ready as their guys get set to match up between the Los Angeles Rams and the Minnesota Vikings. Hi again, everyone. Brandon Gaudin alongside Charles Davis. And Charles, you look at this Vikings ball club. They've been buoyed by getting 2 home games right at the start, and they come off a good victory in Week 1.
And last week they put together a 3-touchdown victory and were never challenged in that game. Let's see if they have a little bit of a letdown here.
Meanwhile, for the visiting Rams, they too were winners last time out, so something's got to give here.
I love it when both teams come in off of wins. Great mindsets, and it usually leads to a really well-played game.
Just a yard on the catch there. It'll be 2nd and 9.
And, partner, I think that was a great example that not all tight ends are created equal. Because everything was right. Got the completion, but he's not one of the more dynamic guys in the league. So even though he caught it, couldn't turn it into much more.
And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. They'll lose a yard, and it brings up 3rd.
Nice play right there to stop him behind the line, but I want to see how this defense continues to play him here in the first half.
Yeah, we know. You know better than I. He has the ability to take over a game, so what do?
Yeah, I think you have to make sure that you bottle him in at varying levels, because if you crowd everyone to the line of scrimmage, if he breaks through, it's nothing but room to run.
They do get 9, but it leads to 4th down.
Obviously, they didn't get everything they wanted on that completion, but they put themselves in a spot where you've got to at least think about going for it. I know where we are on the field, but still, you've got to think about it, don't you?
Oh, the spin. A good return there. Call it 13 yards. And the Vikings will be backed up deep to begin their drive as they take over 1st and 10. So here's the Viking offense making their way out. And here's a look at their leader, standing 6'4".
And what I enjoyed watching this week when we had a chance to watch them at practice, the easy camaraderie that he has with his offense.
A lot of respect.
A lot of respect, and frankly, I thought it spilled over to the defense. The defensive guys were coming over and teasing and joking with him. You can tell they respect the heck out of him and really want to play well for him.
And he finds enough of an opening to get this one back up to his 20. The tackle there by Mark Barron. He was solid last week, over 100 yards in their victory on the ground. They want to get that going again.
Absolutely. And what they also understand is that from week to week, it's not necessarily the same, but they want it to be, right? What they saw last week on the ground, they want to see in this game as well.
And some room to work. A big play there for Minnesota. 43 yards on the ground. Yardage-wise, he's in the top handful of backs in the league so far this season. A great run there.
He's going to love that standing when it comes to contract time. But even more so, his team loves it because he gives them an identity and sets a tone.
Now they'll run it on the toss. That one 28 yards on the ground.
You can script and diagram plays all you want, but no one really envisions something like that happening this early in the game. How about that run to get things started? Didn't he win NFC Player of the Week last week?
Yeah, he was on fire a week ago, and what a start to this one.
Yeah, no sign of him cooling down at all.
And he takes this down to about the 2 before going out of bounds.
Holding offense.
So this will be accepted as he moves the offense backwards. A terrible spot for a holding call as they'll try again, but now from further back on 1st and goal. Now they'll run it on the toss. And he'll be brought down right on the edge of the goal line at about the 1-yard line. It'll be a gain of 18 on the play, and it'll be 2nd and goal.
Partner, I remember a coaching friend of mine used to tell his running backs before games, make sure you run and jog with your offensive line in pregame. Get used to the ground shaking with those big behemoths starting to create space for you up front. He did a...
And he will take this one into the end zone for a Viking touchdown. Amir Abdullah, his 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Vikings have taken a first-quarter lead. Extra point by Carlson, up and good. And that makes the score 7-0. Carlson now to kick this one away. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. So now here are the Rams as their offense comes back out and hoping to do better than they did their last possession when they punted the football.
Appeal to the vanity of your offensive line. Tell them that they control your fate. Leverage guys. Win the line of scrimmage. If you do that, you start to win first down. You win second down. And guess what? You start accumulating first downs. And that's what they need in order to not punt the ball again.
They'll start out on the ground with Gurley. And he'll get this one up to the 26. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
On 2nd down, here's Goff. And he's just going to get rid of this thing to no one here. He throws it away, and now it's 3rd.
What's the old adage? Be quick, but don't hurry. Well, that went right out the window there. He was hurried, harassed. That ball had to be gotten rid of. Otherwise, he was going to get sacked.
After an incomplete pass on 2nd down, that'll leave him trying to convert on 3rd and 9. Here's Goff. The Vikings after him, and they get there for the sack.
Well, the pass rush has been a real strength of late. They know how to get after the quarterback.
Absolutely. 4 sacks last week. That's their first one here. Anything in particular you've seen from them or on film?
I think that they're winning athletically up front, winning those one-on-one battles, but also the offensive line wants to keep everyone in and mass protect. They know how to scheme their way back to the quarterback as well.
Nice job bringing that one back. 14 on the return. And the Vikings will take over here 1st and 10. All right, let's discuss Amir Abdullah. And you see his numbers from a week ago. He was up over 100 yards then, and he's already hit pay dirt here once in this one.
We always talk about quarterbacks and receivers getting into rhythm, right? Really feeling good, finding each other downfield. I think running backs operate the same way. They can hit a good rhythm and a good stride, and he's carrying it over from last week.
They'll run again. This time it's Abdullah.
Whoosh!
Still fighting for tackles. Give him 12 yards on that one. It earns him a fresh set of downs. One thing's for sure, this defense has to figure out how to stop the ground game. He's eating them up here in the first quarter.
It looks like they have to go to different forces, aren't they? The conventional things aren't working too well. So I remember a coach of mine saying way back when a back's having a great game, you've got to get the ball out of his hands. See how far he can run without the ball. And what he meant was takeaways, knock it loose, because maybe you can't just stop him with just regular tackling.
Call it no gain on the play, and it'll be 2nd down. But at least he was able to break that initial contact, or it could have been a loss.
Yeah, give credit to the defensive player, though. What did he do? Made him slow down, slow up his feet, and allowed the rest of the guys to get there to finish him off.
Now they'll run it on the toss. 8 yards on the ground there, and now they're looking at a 3rd and 2. Well, they're making an effort to get the ground game going tonight. So far, it's working.
I like what we're seeing from the offensive line. They seem to have the leverage going, and they're controlling things and reestablishing the line of scrimmage, moving that defensive front backwards, but also like what the runner's giving us, too. It appears that he's been waiting all day long to get out here and take off.
And he'll cross over out of bounds right at the 25. And a nice carry there of 15 yards. Well, they're making a real first-quarter statement with a run game, no doubt.
For those who remember old-school football, running it, establishing things, seeing backs find holes, get through them, they've got to like what they're seeing from this unit so far. Right now, they've decided to, as you've said, establish the run game, and they've been successful.
And he will score. Touchdown, Vikings. Ameer Abdullah, his second touchdown of the game, his third on the year. And the Vikings find a way to stretch their lead. They scored the most points of anyone on opening weekend, and now first quarter touchdown here.
And while there's no guarantee that all the points they scored in opening weekend are going to hold up and be the average all year long, they're certainly starting to set that type of a pace. And what you do with that is you put in the heads of all of your opponents, we've got to really be ready on defense because these guys know how to put the ball in the end zone.
Do you think they can keep piling on the points like this?
I think they can if they're prepared to adjust and adapt, because they won't see the same defenses week in and week out.
Goff will lead the Rams up here 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. Goff now looking to throw. Out left, he's got it to Everett. And he'll get to the 29-yard line, brought down there. That throw good for 4. It's second down.
Well, they were unable to make anything really big out of that. But it's not a bad idea to find your tight end and give him an easy completion and keep moving things forward. Almost as bread and butter as a good running back dive play.
They've got it 2nd and 6. 2nd and 6, just inside the 30. They go play action with Gurley. Now Goff. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And this belongs to the Vikings. Some guys just have a knack for creating turnovers. He's got a little bit of that going. He forced a fumble last week, another one there.
And it just drives teams crazy because they realize that certain guys, as you said, have that knack, and they're trying to keep them away from the action, away from the ball. But the best ones have that overwhelming desire, that overwhelming need to get to the football and make it happen, and that he does.
He'll get a nice chunk there on the first down run, and it's 2nd and 4.
He was hoping to get to the edge, but they did a really nice job of forcing him back inside. That's excellent fundamental defensive football. Don't let them outside where they can really shred your defense.
The second down run for Abdullah. Look at the spin.
Balance.
And he couldn't quite get there. Tackled down at the 1. A nice pickup of 14, and it moves the stick, sets up a 1st and goal.
This guy's well on his way now to a big game on the ground. It's another good run there. Puts him over the century mark in yardage, and we're still in the second quarter.
They'll try to run it in with Abdullah. And he'll get in. Touchdown, Minnesota. Ameer Abdullah on his way to a monster game. 3 first-half touchdowns. And the Vikings are going to add on to their lead. And this is becoming quite the half he's had here.
Remember in our pregame meetings, they talked about wanting to run the football and staying with it. Well, when you're scoring this many touchdowns, there's no reason to go away from it, is there? They are off to a fantastic start. They hope it continues.
3 already for him. That'll be taken in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Getting set to go again here on offense, Jared Goff trots back onto the field. In second quarter, they're down big already. He's struggling as well. They've got to find something here. He's got to find something on this drive.
And sometimes you take on all that extra pressure on yourself, and maybe you have to disperse it a little bit. Lean on some other people, lean on your teammates. Find someone who can take the pressure off and get the ball in their hands for a while.
Or this, if he doesn't, this is getting out of hand, or it could get worse. Seems like this defense, especially the secondary, has really been contesting about every throw in this first half.
Remind me of a good half-court defensive basketball team. Every time a pass is thrown, they're right there and gets the good defensive position, able to affect the play.
That'll set them back with a loss of 3 on the play. And that'll make it 3rd and 13.
Some of these play calls, I think they're a little conservative, but you know me, because it's easy to sit up in this booth, right, and make all the calls and think I'm going to be correct. But I would like to see them open.
Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And this belongs to the Vikings. Oftentimes you say some guys have a knack for creating turnovers. He forced a fumble last week, forces another one.
And one of my good coaching buddies, Frank Delano, always told me, hey, Davis, creating turnovers is not as much about skill as it is about desire.
Oh, I thought it was going to be will, because will rhyme with skill.
Come on,
With desire. We'll go with desire.
What are you, the rhyme master now?
Here comes the field general leading his offense back out there for the next possession. And it's actually been out of the backfield, handing the ball off where they've had a lot of success. So if you're the quarterback, do you just maybe say, you know, maybe this isn't my day, our running game's going so well, you just continue to lean on that?
I agree. That's exactly what you do. And you have to kind of take your ego and put it aside, because you always think your next throw is going to be your best throw, right? Your next play is going to be your best play. Lean on what's working for you right now. That should help carry your team to victory if things keep going in the direction that they are.
Yeah, because the formula has them the lead currently. He's going to get it running right. And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Minnesota. Amir Abdullah on his way to a historic performance. 4 first-half touchdowns. And the Vikings find a way to stretch their lead. And that rushing touchdown is fourth, puts him just one shy of the NFL record in a single game.
And we all know he would love to get to that record and even beyond it, but he doesn't need one, does he? What a performance. What an absolute great game that he's had here in this one.
Carlson now to kick this one away. That'll be taken in the end zone. And he won't return this one. He'll go down to a knee, and they'll start at the 25. And our attention shifts to Todd Gurley. And for him, it's been pretty limited involvement. Down on the scoreboard, maybe time to turn to this guy.
And you know me well. Winning games to me means starting with the running game and continuing to press the running game. Maybe you go away from him a little bit now, but the bottom line is he hasn't touched it enough to make a difference.
Well, they haven't established that running game yet. The question is, will they? Goff will lead the Rams up here 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line. To throw is gone. Blitz coming, and down he goes.
Brandon, if I'm an offensive coordinator and I see an all-out rush like that, I file it away because I'm going to use their aggressiveness against them as this game goes on. I'm going to hit them with a screen soon.
Here's Goff now on 2nd down. Oh, he's able to outmuscle him here as he pulls it in. 23 yards on the play.
When you're struggling on offense, you're looking for anything possible to get you going. Sometimes you do it like basketball teams that don't normally press. You put a press on, bring people to life, make them move a little bit quicker. Maybe that'll help them as they head towards the half.
And this play will be blown up. He'll lose yardage back at the 38. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd down.
But there's another example of why they haven't scored any points so far. I think it's time to abandon the run game, spread things out, and go to the air. It certainly can't be any worse than what they've done so far.
Pressure coming from the Vikings, and they get there and bring him down. Khalil Mack in there to drop him for his 5th sack of the year. So Goff, he'll try to refocus after the sack. The Rams now set up with a tough one, a 3rd and long. 2 minutes to go here in the first half. More from Minneapolis after this. Coming up at the half, a reminder, we go back to Orlando to check in with Jonathan Coachman. He'll have a look back at our first half as well as a look ahead to what's coming up later this weekend. And the second wave of tacklers is going to get him as they stop him behind the line. And now the Vikings are going to stop it here on defense with a timeout. It's just their first, so they'll have 2 remaining here before we get to halftime. This is taken around the 12. So a change of possession here on the punt. And now out comes Minnesota. They are clicking on all cylinders. They seem to be just scoring at will right now, and that's why they've opened up this big lead.
You know, we always talk about getting into the zone, and all athletes are seeking that, aren't they? Where everything is working for them. Every move they make works. It clicks, and they are on point right now.
Yeah, they are in that zone that you're talking about. A big run there, 29 yards and a first. Well, he's broken off some big-time runs here in this first half.
Yeah, and let's just face it. When you go into a game, you think you've got the plays that are going to work, but when you actually get out there and they're starting to happen, your confidence rises, and he's running with terrific ability right now.
Officially no gain on the play, and it's second down. Off the corner. Where'd he come from? Well, I guess he came off the corner, but really nice play.
I like when you're able to pose a question and answer it at the same time. That's exactly where he came from, but it's not something that you normally see. Most of the time, we're thinking about those guys covering pass catchers. In this case, he was a big factor in the run game. No gain.
That one good for 16, and the drive will continue. And now before this first down play, we're going to get a timeout here, as they'll get a chance to talk it over after picking up the first down. So 1st and 10 now from the 30. On first down, Abdullah. And some space here. And he will score. Touchdown, Vikings. Ameer Abdullah, 30 yards. And this Viking offense is running away with this one. And he just tied the NFL record on that 5th rushing touchdown. He's the 6th man ever to do that in a single game.
And, partner, did you just say that he tied an NFL record there?
Yes, sir.
I mean, we're talking 5 touchdowns on the ground against an NFL-caliber defense.
Is that good?
I'd say that's fantastic. What a game for him.
It really is something. We are watching quite the effort. Carlson now to add the extra point. Extra point by Carlson, up and good. And the route is on here in this first half. Carlson now to kick this one away. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Jared Goff and the Rams headed back onto the field. He has not had the game that he envisioned. His team has not had the game that they've envisioned here. So how do they turn this around now?
Well, right now, what he's looking forward to doing is finding a way to get the added weight on his back. Is it like that monkey that Steve Young was talking about? Remember that in the Super Bowl?
Oh, the 95 Super Bowl.
Right, when they beat the Chargers, and, he had that weight of expectations and past greats on his back. In this case, it's just bad play. Can he shake it off and then be able to play loose and free and help his team out?
Let's see if he can do just that. The Rams going to go ahead and use the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with exactly a minute to go before halftime. Now Goff on first down. Dumps it off to Gurley. It's a gain of 6 on the play, and it'll make it a second down.
I think the best offenses love to get the ball to their running backs in open space because they have the ability to make people miss, and they also have the ability to run over people. And if you do that throughout the game, after a while, they might just run through some of those tackles and go a long way.
We saw him shove a nice tackle on that play. And now we won't see a play on first down. We're going to get a timeout instead as they get the stoppage with just under 50 seconds remaining in half number 1. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. Goff on first down. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. But it looked like a Rams player was able to get his hands on it, yes. So they will hold on to the football indeed. They're going to need to get up and set in a hurry. Throwing again is gone. And that one will fall incomplete. Clock here now just under 30 seconds to go in this first half.
Well, one thing that I've liked defensively is that they've shown them a lot of different looks here in the first half. They've come after them. They've sat back. I think that's what you need to do to keep an offense guessing.
And they certainly have kept them on their toes. That's why they haven't had much success on the scoreboard. Now it's Gurley. And they went the wrong way there. Losing yardage back at the 43-yard line. Now here's a whistle and a timeout. It's called by the receiving team here, as the clock will stop with 21 seconds to go here in the first half. And problems spreading to the punt team now. This one goes all the way into the end zone on the fly, so that'll come back to the 20. Out comes this field general once more, leading his offense back onto the field. He hasn't had his best day. They have been good running the football, and they have the lead, though, so maybe he just personally wants to improve his play.
And that's without a doubt, because at the end of the game, he wants to feel like he had a really good hand in his team winning, if in fact they do go on and get that done. But the bottom line is finding a way to win the game. So if you're not playing that well, but somebody else is on the team, keep going to that hot hand.
Yeah, not over yet, but looking good here in the second quarter. He finds an opening past the 40 as they finally wrangle him in at the 48. There you have it. Halftime quickly over. Third quarter, here we go. So we've reached halftime here in Minnesota with the Vikings on top. This will be taken in at the 1. And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line. Out come the Vikings. They'll have it first on offense as we begin the third. They built a good first half lead. Now they have a chance to add on to it.
And what I'm thinking is that the offensive staff spent the entire halftime just working with them on, here's what we think they're going to do to attack us in the second half. Nice first half that we've had, guys, but be prepared for some change-ups. We're going to see them when we kick it off in the second half.
See how they handle any adjustments that might be made defensively. Now they'll run it on the toss. Gets around him. And taking it across midfield and just shy of the 40. 17 yards on the pickup there, and the drive will continue.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball and protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop them. Right back to him on first down. And blocked down, but able to get it to their 30-yard line. 11 more on that one, and another first down.
Would you say this offense is locked in right now?
They're having no trouble on this drive. What is it, 3 plays, 3 first downs?
Yeah, you talk about on the march. They keep this up, they'll get to that end zone real fast.
They pitch to Abdullah. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. It's a loss of a yard there, and now second down.
He's had a big game tonight, and while no one's going to be overly concerned about that last play, you also know that the offense coordinator does not want to see that happen again. They want to get back to doing what they've been doing all game long.
They go with Abdullah again. Space to run past the 20. And now running right through it. And finally taken down at the 4-yard line. A big chunk on the ground there, 27 yards.
That's how you get right up off of the mat, because on the last play, they stoned him in the backfield and dropped him for a loss. But he's the type of guy that scared me a little bit because he's not daunted. Just got right back up, showed some confidence, and picked up.
And he will take this one into the end zone for a Viking touchdown. Amir Abdullah taking it in from 4 yards out. And the Vikings offense continues to pour it on. Extra point by Carlson, up and good. And the lead will swell by one more. Carlson now to kick this one away. That'll be taken in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Out come the Rams. They'll have it first here to begin the third quarter. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
And just in general, Charles, on a play like that, how tough is it for the defense to account for a running back essentially being a receiver downfield?
It's very difficult, especially.
Rush coming, and he's taken down.
This has been a tough one for this offensive line. It appears almost like they've been on roller skates this entire game, the way they've been pushed around. 6 sacks given up in this one.
Throwing on third. Gone. And the pressure gets to him again. Khalil Mack. He's the one to get him, and that's sack number 7 for him on the year. Offensively, they're going to have to figure this out before next week. 7 sacks in one game.
Yeah, and that's more than any quarterback should have to bear. And if this continues on, there will be another quarterback in the game because no one can stand up to this week after week.
A very good return there. Give him an even 20 yards. And out will come the offense as they take over. Amir Abdullah gearing up now to lead this offense. They'll be looking to get in the end zone again. Had the touchdown, as you see, last drive on 4 carries. And during the break, we were looking at some of the replays from the previous drive. Really good holes created, great space.
Yeah, I like the observation you had, though, during that break about, okay, they've got to do something to slow down their runners. So is it bringing in more defensive linemen? Is it dropping in extra linebackers? What are you going to do? Personally, I'm going to take my safety and drop him into the box. I'm going to have at least 7 in there until he shows that he can beat me through the air. Yeah. I've got to slow down the running game.
I was just going to say, you'll take the exposure in the passing game over the top until you can prove that you can stop the running game.
Sometimes you go cold because you haven't thrown it in a while. Let's see if he can heat up again.
And he's going to get stopped up quickly. Give him a yard down to the 43. And third quarter here, you've got the lead. This is where that strong run game can really benefit you. Stayed in bounds there, kept the clock going.
I like all the points you just made there. And if you throw the football and it's incomplete, now you've stopped the clock and you've helped out the guys on the other side of the ball. So keep it in the hands of those runners. Keep moving it. Keep grinding clock.
And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Minnesota. Colby Listenby. His 4th touchdown on the year. And this Viking offense is running away with this one. Extra point by Carlson, up and good. Well, they were just hoping that run would pick up the first. They got the whole enchilada.
And I'm so used to teams on 3rd down, doesn't matter how far they need for a first down, throwing the ball. Instead, they run it, and as you said, picked up the first down, and then some, and then some. In fact, everything, all the way for a touchdown. Terrific play.
And now out on the field, here comes Los Angeles.
And right now these guys, they're shuffling a little bit, maybe doubting, because 3 straight drives have ended with him punting the football away.
Yeah, so you start pointing fingers at each other a little bit, asking a lot of questions. What are you seeing? What are you getting? Maybe trying to narrow down your playbook a little bit and maybe get simpler rather than more complex in order to try and fashion together a drive.
On first down, it's gone. And pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up second down.
We saw this a lot in the first half, and it continues. These receivers just not able to get much separation.
So that means they have to win the 50-50 balls. They've got to go up with the defender and find a way to start coming down with them.
And this time, contact and another incomplete pass.
Back to throw. Gone. And his throw's going to be incomplete. Looking again in the direction of Woods, and now it's third down.
I'd love to know what he's saying in the huddle now to his guys up front, because it's been a steady stream of pressure on him this entire game. That time, able to avoid the sack, but he's got to talk to his offensive line and say, guys, just a couple seconds extra, please.
And he'll just toss it away. So he throws it away, and that brings up fourth down. And a look now at Goff as he remains down and shaken up, apparently. While the training staff takes a peek, we'll take a break. Here's Johnny Hekker now. He's been one of their few bright spots so far. This is taken at the 18. We'll call that a punt of 54 yards. Well struck. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. Now they'll run it on the toss. Takes this to the 27. Give him 4 yards.
Third quarter and you've got the lead. You're not ready to go into that 4-minute offense to close the game out, but a running game can really benefit your team right now.
A toss to Abdullah. And he powers his way up past the 30. The tackle there by John Johnson.
Well, if you're a football guy, that's a pretty run because everyone is in sync right there. Obviously, the guy carrying the ball, but how about the people up front? Leverage, athleticism, they created some nice space for him.
They'll run here. Abdullah. And he'll be brought down on what's going to turn out to be the final play of this third quarter. From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. Toss play right. Abdullah spins past him. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. They give him 14 yards that time and a fresh set of downs.
He's still rumbling, isn't he? Still looking fresh in this one despite the heavy workload. But you and I both know, well-conditioned, and he did tell us that he thrives on being at his peak late in ball games.
Let's go! Grand 38! Grand 38!
Now they'll run it on the toss. There's the flash of Abdullah. 8 yards on the pickup, and now they'll have some options on second and short.
Bottom line, they want to keep this clock rolling, so they'll take that one right there. They just want to keep falling forward, and they want to put the onus on the big fellas up front in order to bring this one home.
Running left on the toss, Abdullah. And the stop here will come at the 38-yard line. It's a pickup of 6 and good enough to move the chains.
Do my eyes deceive me, or is he getting stronger as this game moves along?
Burst seems just as good here in the fourth as it was way back in the first, doesn't it?
I do believe someone put a lot of time in the offseason and continues to condition during the season in order to continue to carry the ball at this rate.
Now they'll run it on the toss. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. That's good for 21 yards and a first down.
Brendan, every great running backs coach I've talked with has always talked about when you have great vision, You're not consciously thinking about your cuts and your moves. You're just doing them. And I think that's what we're seeing tonight. He's about to run them into submission, hasn't he?
You took the words right out of my mouth. I was just going to use that phrase. He has run them into submission.
Wave the white flag.
15 more there, and they're on a roll. It's another first down. I think this defense tired of seeing him run the football, and this D-line probably getting sick of the O-line as well.
And as I'm watching this, I'm thinking about a
and he'll get in. Touchdown, Minnesota. Colby Listenbee with his second touchdown of the game and 5th on the year. And the Vikings offense continues to pour it on. Extra point by Carlson, up and good. And that will extend this big lead. Carlson now to kick this one away. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. And the Rams now coming out on the field. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency.
Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. Khalil Mack in there to get him, and that's sack number 8 for him on the year.
We've been around this league for a while, and many coaches never pull their starting quarterback, almost no matter the situation. In this case, though, I think he's got to make a decision. He's taking a pretty good beating out there.
Yeah, with the deficit, maybe not wanting to risk an injury. And he's got his man on the out route. And he'll get this up past the 25 before he's out of bounds. 8 yards on the completion, but now they face third down.
Let's not quibble about the gain there on second down. That was a positive play because that was a take-what-you-can-get situation. Got out to the tight end. Now there's a much better opportunity to convert on third down.
And not a whole lot doing there as he'll get it up to about the 28-yard line. Just a gain of 2 there, and it's going to bring up a 4th down.
He continues to struggle to find a crease to break off a big one and might need to just put that aside and just try and ram his way forward and get what he can.
21 yards. Well done on the return. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. All right, let's discuss Ameer Abdullah. I guess it kind of goes without saying at this point, but he's had a great game, as we like to say, a nose for the end zone, no doubt.
Continues to find it throughout this game, and I'm sure he's got a nice place to live. He might want to make an offer on the end zone for a second home because that's what it's been like throughout this contest. He knows how to get there, and boy, he looks happy when he does.
He's already bought all the property in the end zone. That's the problem. He's going to sell to himself now. It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets him to 2nd and 4.
That's it. That's what you want. Straight ahead positive gain. Just keep that clock ticking.
Here we go. What? 90. What? 90.
Now they'll run it on the toss. 12 yards there as they move the chains.
Well, we're beyond the tone setting right now. This guy's been the bell cow all day, and they'll continue to rely on him to move the chains, drain the clock, and lead his team.
Now they'll run it on the toss. And he'll be out just a yard or 2 shy of the 30. Another nice gain, 16 yards there, and a 1st down again. And with that carry, he has done it. He breaks the single-game rushing record.
How about doing it in the spotlight of our game? How wonderful is that to see all those yards accumulated, culminating in a brand new NFL record.
And he'll get about 3 as he's brought down to the 28.
Looks like they're establishing a pretty good pattern here because they've been very heavy in the running game on the last 4 plays.
Yeah, you took the words right out of my mouth. So far, 4 plays in this drive, all 4 on the ground.
3 down.
Now they'll run it on the toss. And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. 5 yards on the pickup, and that's going to lead to a 3rd down. Time for a break. We'll come back and wrap up garbage time after this. So the Vikings in possession of the football as we get you reset.
They've got a third down now as they look for one more first down to help salt this one away. Now they'll run it on the toss. He'll have a first down inside the 10.
Illegal block in the back. Offense.
That's a good chunk of yardage. It's going to be canceled out.
And we always talk about hidden yardage in a game. That's going to count as that because now it doesn't go on the books, but now they have to make that up again, don't they?
Now they'll run it on the toss. And he will get into the end zone. It's another touchdown. This thing is ugly. Looking like they're well on their way to a 2-0 start. All smiles right now on that sideline, isn't it?
As well there should be. It's hard to win a game in the NFL. We hear it all the time. We know that it's difficult. But guess who's smiling? But inside is thinking 24-hour rule because we're going to have to play again next week.
Boss man.
Oh, without a doubt. The head coach, he wants them to feel good, but at the same time, find a way to keep improving.
That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. And now out on the field, here comes Los Angeles. They are just obviously getting shellacked here in this one, Charles. What's the message if you're a coach for this final drive in a lopsided game like this?
For a lot of coaches,
be honest,
don't forget today. Don't forget what has happened out here.
Yeah, use that as ammo going forward.
Exactly. Take a great look at that scoreboard. Realize how poorly everything went for us today. Coaching, playing, the whole deal. And never forget it because
you're not going to want that feeling again.
No, you don't want that feeling again. And who knows? You may meet up with this team again.
Line of scrimmage. Again, the 25. 2nd and 10.
Hurry up. Here we go.
Now the backup Savage. And his first throw here is incomplete. Another wayward pass. You know, things started out poorly in this game, and to be frank, they just really haven't gotten much better.
And all that does is embolden the secondary. They feel good about what's going on, and they just play better and better.
Throwing on 3rd down, it's Savage. Looking to stop for Woods, and it's intercepted. Xavier Rhodes with a pick. Looking for Woods that time. This spot in the 4th quarter with that deficit, had to throw the football. Unfortunately, there's the risk of big turnover.
And you know you're going to be throwing against nickel, dime, all sorts of exotic defenses, but you have to do it anyway. Ordinarily, you might want to run the football a little bit, try and get them out of it. But as you noted, this time of the game, this point on the clock.
And they're going to score again. Yet another touchdown as they just add to their totals. So another score there, and often you talk about the 3 phases of the game. Defense, offense, special teams. It's been a clean sweep in this one, hasn't it?
It certainly has. They've been pretty dominant throughout this game. And privately, the head coach will add a 4th phase. That's the coaching. And he'll tell the ownership that as he tries to negotiate a new contract off of this win.
They are looking strong here in the 4th quarter. That'll be taken in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. And now out on the field, here comes Los Angeles. Let's just be frank. They're playing for pride at this point.
That's all that's left because victory, not a chance now. And I can't wait to see how they actually go about doing it because there are a lot of people watching the body language of the guys on the field now. And if they call plays they want executed, they need to do that and do it really well. Otherwise, there could be repercussions.
We'll see how they handle the waning moments of this one. 15 yards is the pickup there, and the drive starting very nicely. First down. On 1st and 10, Goff. And he just gets rid of it. Throws it away. A wise move there. Looked like nobody open. Now 2nd down.
I hope I don't sound too rah-rah on that one, but that's the exact right throw. Either your receiver gets it or no one gets it. Give him a lot of credit for being really precise with it.
Got rid of it. No one got it. Now a desperation throw deep downfield. And they went for a big play through the air on 2nd down. Couldn't connect. Now it's 3rd.
This defense is continuing to contest every deep ball that is thrown downfield. And, look, it doesn't matter whether you're playing man or zone. Eventually, that becomes man on man, and you've got to trust yourself and go up at that moment of truth and make a play on the football.
And the third down pass falls incomplete.
Got to be wary of throwing an interception here because the defense knows they're going to get tested deep. That's why they're going to put a couple of extra guys back there to try and prevent that.
Yeah, late in the fourth quarter here, trying to preserve the lead. Now this is fielded in the end zone. A spin. A terrific return. 30 yards all in all. Now the Vikings offense gets set to take over here. And this game comfortably in hand. The scoreboard speaks for itself, but you still got your starting quarterback out there. When do you go to the backup? Let him get some time.
And that's one of the great questions in the NFL, Brandon, because I'm just going to tell you, in the 2015 season, I commentated on 3 games in a row that were blowouts. And in none of them did the starting quarterback ever come out of the game for the team that had a big lead. And in each instance, I asked the coaches later on, why didn't you do that? And they all looked at me and said, just don't really do that in the NFL. You know, these guys play, and we just play them all the way through. Now, in certain situations, they will take them out, but for the most part, they're not as worried and concerned about getting them out of the game. And that's always puzzled me a little bit.
Defense still with 3 timeouts. We'll see if they want to use them here as the kneel down comes. And on third down, a nickel formation here defensively.
4 down, 4 down. 59 Mike, 59 Mike. Check, 59. Cut.
The storyline of this one, Charles, no doubt the number 0. Zilch, nada. A shutout so hard to do in the NFL.
It really is, and what an accomplishment, because you feel that not just on the defensive side, but as a full team. There's a lot of pride that goes into shutting out an opponent. And how about that 0 on the scoreboard for them, going along with those zeros in the time column too.
So for the Vikings, they used a favorable early schedule to their advantage as they move to 2-0. And they will hit the road next week for a date with the Oakland Raiders. Meanwhile, for Los Angeles, they'll fall to 1-1. And they'll be on the road next week for a matchup with the Carolina Panthers. I'm Brandon Gaudin, certainly after...